Former Tesla executive warns of delays to European regulations. A former Tesla executive has warned about a delay to regulations in Europe that could affect the launch of full self-driving FSD in the region. Earlier this month, former Tesla Global Vehicle Automation and Safety Policy lead Mark Van Impe announced his departure on LinkedIn, along with sharing a few choice words about the delay of certain regulations surrounding advanced driver assistance systems ADAS in Europe. Van Impe simultaneously served as a secretary of the United Nations UN Task Force, creating the new UN Regulation 171, known as DCAS. The former executive, who will now serve as the global policy advisor at SpaceX, says that a decision was made to delay certain elements of the DCAS regulation, possibly until 2028, potentially affecting FSD's launch in Europe and the UK. He says that the move also impacts Europe's competitiveness, coming at a time when Tesla has seemingly been eager to launch the software beyond North America. XPeng executive names unlikely challenge for Tesla FSD in China. During Tesla's Q2 earnings call earlier this year, Elon Musk said he expected to gain approval for FSD supervised in Europe and China and elsewhere by the end of 2024, so the setback could come as a major blow. Despite this, Van Impe also notes that it may be possible for Tesla to gain a temporary certification or deployment through pre-certification as potential options to avoid delaying the FSD launch. You can read Van Impe's statements on the matter below, as part of his longer departure post. Over the past 4 years, I've strived to accelerate the deployment of new ADAS technologies in global markets as the secretary of the UN Task Force ADAS developing the new UN Regulation 171 or DCAS. This regulation was a step change in the ADAS homologation approach, from technically explicit requirements to performance-based assessment, opening the door for a wider array of systems. Just recently, UNGRVA adopted an amendment which will make more capabilities such as system-initiated maneuvers possible. Sadly, the decision was made to delay some of these capabilities for urban environments, possibly until 2028. This impacts Europe's competitiveness, and it's clear that the type approval framework needs to evolve to better and more quickly tackle innovative technologies. Perhaps temporary certification or deployment through pre-certification can prove a solution. In the post, the former Tesla executive also highlighted 2 others previously in the company's public policy ranks: former VP of Public Policy Rohan Patel and Yosh Dings, Tesla's former EMEA Public Policy Director, who left earlier this year and earlier this month respectively. He called them both dear mentors, who he says were extremely patient with him, along with sharing a few other shoutouts. Meanwhile, Tesla's launch of FSD supervised in China appears to be full steam ahead, with the company earlier this month announcing that it would open FSD transfers on new purchases through the end of the year. In June, local reports also said that Tesla China would be testing 10 FSD supervised equipped vehicles ahead of a public rollout of the software. The company also reportedly gained tentative approval for FSD in China in late April, so the broad expectations for a launch this year aren't unwarranted. Source: reposted and summarized from Zachary Visconti at teslarati.